So before this video starts, guys, there's just a quick disclaimer that I want to do. If these guys get annoyed because of the word I, please don't get upset at me. I just want to say that I use these techniques to edit my own videos in Premiere Pro. This was a tutorial request from one of the viewers and many other viewers, in fact, saying how do you edit your videos. So this is me showing you how I like to do things. This is not a tutorial step by step. You're going to get a final product. This is a broad technique that I use in Premiere Pro. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome to Ace Designs 107. I'm the Ace on the card pack and you're the kings and queens. Today what I have for you guys is a editing tutorial on how to use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit your YouTube videos or any other type of video, in fact, and we're going to get straight started. So what you're going to do first is you're going to organize your base files for recording. So what I like to do is when I record a tutorial or when I record a speed art or when I record any video, in fact, I grab my recordings and all the files that I use for that tutorial and I put it onto my desktop file. And I just simply name a tutorial because I only work with one tutorial at once. So what I'd like to do is I like to have my recording here, and you can rename this one, it doesn't really matter. And I also have my separate voice recording that I record using Audition. And once I've exported that recording out, like I'm recording now, once I exported that out, I also put it into this folder. Okay, so once you have Premiere Pro open, you're going to go to File, New, Project, and I'm just going to make sure I save changes. So yes, I'm going to save it, and with this one you're going to name it tutorial, and you're going to keep the video all the same, the audio all the same, and the capture all the same, and you're going to save it in that folder that you made on your desktop or anywhere to be fact, and you're going to press OK. Now I'm just going to open up my most recent one, and once you've pressed OK and you have your document open, you're going to press Ctrl I on your keyboard and you're going to import your recording and your voiceover. So that's pretty important. What you like to keep in mind is your video quality is just as important as your audio quality. If you don't have a good audio quality, your video will look shit, it doesn't look professional, and it just won't look good. So what I like to do is I like to make a high quality audio recording as long with recording in 60 FPS under 1080p. That will give my viewers the best type of content that I can produce for them at the moment in time. So what I like to do then is drag it in my video into Premiere Pro. But before I do that, I'm going to touch on some things in Premiere Pro for you guys to know about when we start the tutorial. So here in Premiere Pro, you've got your effects controls and your audio track mixer. Your program, this is where you're going to view your preview of your video. Your timeline, this is where most of the magic happens, and where your clips are held. Now if you go to Window Workspace and you open up Editing, it's going to bring up the standard one, but I use my own one called Editing for YouTube, and you can just simply go to Window and add in your own. So if I want to add markers, I can do markers and I can drag and drop and simply like that. It's pretty intuitive and you should pick it up pretty quickly, so hopefully you guys can. So I'm just going to go open up editing because of this tutorial, so I want everyone to be on the same basis with me. And I'm going to import my clip in. But before I do that, I've made some cuts and edits to my clip before, so I'm going to import this clip in and I'll show you how you can do cut and editing later. So once you have your clip in, what I like to do is I like to right click and do unlink, and I like to delete my audio, and I like to put in my voice recording that I have. But in this case, I've cutted everything to match it. Okay, so the next step for the tutorial, or for editing your video, is you're going to have import your intro. So if you don't have an intro for your tutorial, don't worry about this step, or video, don't worry about this step. However, in my cases, I like to keep a high professional feel to my videos, and I really recommend that you have an intro of some type for each individual video. So I'm going to go to Ctrl I and import my video, and in my cases, I have a document under my documents on my computer, and it's named Ace Designs, and I have everything that I would use for editing my videos in here neatly organized. So I'm going to go to my intro file and import my intro, render, and sound effect. Now what I like to do is, you usually see my sound clips always separate to my intro or my video. This makes it really easy for me, so I don't know why, but yeah. So with your intro, what I like to do is I'm going to drag and drop this onto my timeline again, and you can use this bar here to zoom in and out. You right click and do unlink in my case, and you can select the audio file one here and press delete. So now all you have is a intro render. Okay, so now with your sound effect, you can drop that in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my sound effect for my intro on a separate audio layer. Now what I like to do with this one is I like to bump down the sound, because this tends to be very high. If you take a listen to this, make sure you turn down your sound because it's going to be really loud. So obviously if some users are using headphones, this is going to be very inconvenient for their eardrums. So what I like to do is I like to select this audio track and take a mental note that it's on audio track 2, and then I go to my audio clip mixer and I go to my audio 2 and I do -15. Now what this is going to do is it's going to bump down the audio -15 decibels, and it will make it much easier. There we go. So with that done, what I like to do is I like to get my video recording with my voiceover, and I like to drag it in, and it's done like that. So the next step I like to do is I like to add in a simple transition for my video, and the transitions that I use is like MKBHD. He uses this flare transition. I'll be making a tutorial more separately on how do do flare transitions. It's going to be a very quick tutorial in the near future. So, but all you have to do is you have to go Control I, and you're just going to go to your file. You're going to open up the transition and just go open. And I like to put this round here, and I like to zoom in a little bit. And this one I like to do, what I do for this is I drag it halfway between the first clip that I'm going to transition to and halfway between the second clip. In my case, halfway between the intro and halfway between my recording. So what I like to do with this one is I like to go down to here, and I'm going to resize this film burn right up. So I'm going to go to the effects controls and then go to motion and change the scale right up to 160. Sorry, my eyes are burning. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the keying section. So we're going to go to the first frame of our transition, and we're going to go down to the opacity and click this little button here, and then make sure it's on 0. And then halfway through, right in between them clips, we're going to change the opacity right up to 100. And then go to the end of the clip and then change the opacity right down to 0%. Make sure that you hit that key button. So what we have now is we have a really soft, gentle transition, and it's going to really help the professionality of your videos. So the next step for the tutorial is, you might hear some background noise. That is because I opened up the windows. Okay, so the next step for the tutorial is I usually like to add in some sound background music. So what I do is I press Control I, and how I source all my sound is I go to Google, go to YouTube, and I type into YouTube non-copyright music soundtrack, and then I usually get a big soundtrack that is like 1 hour long, and I just simply open that up in my Premiere Pro, drag that soundtrack on here. And with that, obviously my tutorial isn't 1 hour long, so I like to use this arrow and bring it right down to around there. Now if you are doing a longer video than 1 hour, get a couple of soundtracks and you can mash those all together. This will help speed up time, especially when it comes to editing, because if you would like to add in an individual soundtrack, you have to drag in individually each soundtrack onto your video. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to bump down the soundtrack, because we want to hear my voice over the soundtrack. So we're going to go to the audio clip mixer, and we're going to change the decibels like we did on my intro sound effect, but even lower to around -35. It might not be so loud, however, for this one, we do want my voice to be out longer, so we're just going to do it like this. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in some lower thirds. So what I mean by lower thirds is, if you haven't watched my videos before, if you're watching this video, you'll see these little pop-ups coming up saying subscribe to my channel or like the videos or whatever. I'll be doing a tutorial in the near future on how to make your own lower thirds. However, for now, I'm just going to show you how I import them and how I edit them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl I, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to space out the lower thirds in between my videos. So I'm going to go to my lower thirds and open up my sound effect that I use, and also by holding Control all of them and then do open. Because we'll import each of these, and I'll also in the meantime open up my overlay. So if you want to know how to make your own overlay for YouTube videos, make sure you go to my channel. I recently uploaded a video on how to make this type of overlay. It's really easy and it shouldn't be too hard. Another thing is, if you want to view a clip before putting it onto your timeline, just double click here, it will open up the source of it and you can scroll through and see your video. It's not too hard, and yeah. Okay, so with my overlay, I'm just going to drag it above my video, and I'm going to do it also above my, I'm going to do it with my transition halfway through, and I'm going to zoom right out, and I'm going to drag this overlay right through my whole video. So if it's just a picture, all you have to do is make sure that you have this little arrow pointing to the right, and just keep on dragging. And if you zoom out a little bit more, it's a little bit hard when you're zoomed out so far and your video is quite large, and just bring it across. And if you record your videos at the same resolution as you made your overlay, you won't need to do any scaling. But if you need to scale up your overlay or scale down, just go down to the effects controls, go to motion, and then move the slider, and that should scale it up or down. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in those lower thirds like I talked about. So I'm going to first put in my like the video, because that's the main thing that I like people to do. Sometimes they might be new to the channel, so they're not going to subscribe straight away because I haven't earned their respect. But with liking the video, if they do enjoy it, hopefully they'll like it. So if we get 50 likes on that note, I'll release a secret download, as I do with all my videos. So hopefully we can reach that number. So once I've got my like in here, what I do is I import my sound effect, and I put that on an audio file, on an audio. And it's not letting me do this, but it should be fine, just do it like that. And I like to go to my audio mixer and also bump down this one. So with this one, I like to do it around -15. So the swoosh sound effect won't overpower my voice, it will just be in the background noise with the background music. However, it will be higher because of the background music is at -35 decibels. And the same will go for the YouTube, and just do like that, and the Twitch also. And don't worry about changing it individually. If you change it for one audio track, it's going to change all the you know, things. So it's really not that hard, but for some reason it's not doing it now. I don't know why. You might have to go through it individually. I'm not going to put too much. Make sure you be careful with these video pop-ups. If you do it every 1 minute, people are not going to subscribe or like your video or do whatever you're asking them to do. They're just going to get pissed off with all these notifications, and they're going to click off your video. It's like getting these annoying ads in when you're playing a game on your phone and you just want to really make them fuck off. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put these in between, so halfway through my video, and I'm going to put a sound effect in also. And I'm also going to put one in near the end of my video. So that's the standard way that I do it, and I would recommend doing that also, just because of it's not too regular, however it's not too least, so people forget about your channel or the content that you provide the community. So that's something that I like to do. Okay, so another thing that I'll show you guys is how to do transitions straight after I finish this, because I am editing this video on the go like I'm doing this tutorial. So let me just finish placing these all through my video. And yeah, so it's not too hard, hopefully guys, for you guys to do this. And I just like to create my editing really simple, however keep my videos as professional as possible. If I need to add in something, I'll show you how to do that. So this one I like to do -15, and this one I like to do -15. Yeah, -15. Okay, so the next thing that you might want to come across is to put text on the randomly throughout your video. So I don't have to do this in this case, however if you do, all you need to do is you're going to go to title, add new title, add default still, and you're going to name this text, whatever, text1, text2, press OK, and with this it'll bring up this little text dialog editor, whatever. You're going to make it so you can see it, click once and do here is text. And I can show you a really cool way to do it. So you're going to press escape so you can move this text along. A lot of people don't tell that when they're doing Premiere Pro tutorials, so just press escape so you can move the position of the text, and you can also change the font type of it to, let's just say, America Captain. And you can use all these bunch of presets that Adobe has provided, but in my case I'm not going to do that. And then you just simply click off. You don't have to press save or anything. It will make a new clip down here, put it in where your timeline wants to go, or wherever you want to put it on your timeline, and you have some text on your screen. So if you want to do some really cool things with this text, you can go to your effects controls and do opacity, and then go here and do overlay, and that'll make something look really cool. And I think that it looks good. I don't know why, and you can do it like through different colors and that. See, like this one with the swatches, get this different type of feel with the text, and it's really cool, something like that. Just a little quick note to make your videos more professional. That's what MKBHD does, and that's what you should do also. So the next thing that I like to do with my videos is, you often might come across when you need to cut a video. So if you have a point where you say, oh, I need to cut out the swear word or whatever, what you're going to do is you're going to use this little zoomer to zoom in or zoom out, and you're going to grab your razor tool by hitting C on your keyboard or just pressing there, and you're just going to click over here and make sure you get through all the clips that you want to cut through at that moment in time, and then zoom in, go here, and then you can just clip all once here. So you've cut it out this section of the video, and all you have to do is grab your selection tool by pressing V on your keyboard, select all those by dragging and selecting, press delete, and bam, you've cut that area out, and then you've got a quick jump cut. Now obviously if you played it like this, you're gonna have like a broken video, like it's just gonna turn black and then resume to its normal. So all you have to do then is just to select all this video and drag it and make sure that it conjoins back there, and then you have a really quick jump cut. I'm just gonna undo those steps because it's not necessary. Another thing is, if you want to merge two clips together, so let's say if I do a jump cut, right, and you want to make this video all one video, so one clip, so you delete that and then you move all this stuff together by zooming out, selecting all this, and then zooming in and put it here. And let's just say you want to tidy up things and you want to merge this all together into one clip. So you go and you select your video clip, right click and then do nest, and once you've nested this, you can name this video 2, and this is going to simply just make it into one video. And if you double click on this, it will make it into a new layer, and you can see your different layers. So that's just a quick run through with Adobe Premiere and editing your videos. I hope that I've helped you guys in making the editing process a lot easier for most of you. It can be a quite daunting task when you're starting out YouTube, and for some of you it can be very difficult. I understand that. I found it difficult also. That's why I usually stay to Camtasia for when I started up my channel. But recently I just moved over to Premiere Pro. I found that it is very easy to use, and I have a lot more flexible options. Now obviously once you get used to Premiere, there'll be a more advanced tutorial for you. It's guys out on YouTube, and I'll also plan to make one in the future. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope I show you some tips and tricks. If you would like to see more videos on how to make your YouTube channel more professional, or any other graphics design types of videos related to that, or anything in general with graphics design, make sure you go to over my channel and check out some of the other videos. And if you would, please subscribe and like the video. They'll be much appreciated by myself and the rest of the community for releasing that secret download link. Have a great day, and I'll see you